Well, with the promise of a COVID-19 vaccine on the horizon, Americans are still split on whether they would get it. But can your employer require you to? News 13's Gabrielle Burkhart spoke with a labor law attorney about that question today.
The short answer is probably, depending on what your job is. But this is all new territory for employers, workers, and attorneys navigating what can and can't be done in the pandemic.
I would say maybe a third of all calls have something to do with COVID, if not more.
Dina Buchanan has been practicing employment law for more than 20 years, but this year, fielding questions about COVID-19 is a huge part of her practice.
It's on the top of everyone's mind right now.
There are questions around paid leave and quarantine, workers' comp, and as fast-tracked coronavirus vaccines inch closer to FDA approval, we want to know how the vaccine might impact the workforce.
Can employers mandate their employees get the coronavirus vaccine?
That's a really great question. And I think the answer is maybe, and maybe a probably.
Buchanan says it may depend on your job and how much in-person interaction is required of you. She says protections under the Americans with Disabilities Act that would normally prevent employers from questioning their workers about health conditions don't apply to COVID. Employers can already require workers wear masks, get tested, and do temperature checks.
The EEOC said, okay, we're in a public health emergency, so now COVID-related illnesses are a, quote, direct threat to others, to public, to other employees.
The latest Gallup survey shows 58% of Americans would get a COVID-19 vaccine, and guidance from the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is evolving. Still, some cases are likely to play out in court, Buchanan says.
If an employee is being told by their doctor not to get a vaccine and the employer is threatening them with termination if they don't get a vaccine, it's going to raise a lot of questions.
Healthcare and public safety workers will be first in line to get the vaccine, and a lot of those workers in high-risk settings are already required to get a flu shot. You can watch our full Q&A with the labor attorney at alwaysonkrqe.com. Back to you.
Thanks, Gabby. It's likely some people will cite religious beliefs or pre-existing medical conditions as reasons for refusing the vaccine.